Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Welcome to week one of the NFL. We have finally made it. We are talking about the Baltimore Ravens against the Kansas City Chiefs. And the first pick for you today is going to be via Chalkboard. Use the link below to sign up in the comments. Use promo code PPR to get the app, and there will be an easy way to get $100 added to your account after you log in and set up the account. So it's only available in 18 states. I'm trying to get a promo code. I just need a few more signups. So if you're in one of these 18 states, please go ahead and sign up, and we'll get that situated. But appreciate it if you use that below. Here's the pick. These picks are all courtesy of Player Prop Shop, which I'll talk about here in a second. But I like these a lot. You can get Derrick Henry at over 63.5 rushing yards, and then it's going to be anytime touchdown. So a little bit riskier, obviously, but these are pretty surefire touchdown guys for the most part. So Travis Kelce, Rashee Rice, and then Lamar Jackson, and that would be a rushing touchdown for Lamar there. So if you get those four correct, it's at 18.15 times. So $5 bet equals $90. A $100 bet, if you wanted to take the match that you're getting on Chalkboard, would equate to $1,800. So if you want to risk it all, go for it. Obviously a high risk bet, but a fun way to do it. I could not put the bet in because I am not in one of the states for Chalkboard, but go ahead and check that out. Also, I wanted to talk about Player Prop Shop. So right now they're offering 60% off for a year subscription, which brings it down from $4.99 a year to $1.99. Their monthly subscriptions are $99 a month. So you're basically getting 2 months for the price of a year. And they do player props of all kinds, right? So they do all kinds of sports: MLB, WNBA, college football, combat sports, PGA, NBA, NHL, when those seasons are ongoing. And so MLB player props, they're not going to do props for every single game, but they're going to give you the best picks that they think for the day. They've already got week one of the NFL covered. So these are all props. They give you reasons behind it. Like I said, for the chalkboard pick, those were all NFL props or from the Player Prop Shop. And, I've had pretty good success with it. So 60% off. Link is in the bio. Click that link, add the full year subscription to your cart, and then enter the promo code NFL, and you will get that subscription. So be sure to check that out. Let's jump into the picks for the game here. So the first pick the first lineup I've got is Caleb Williams did sneak in there, which I'll tell you about in a second. But it is going to be Patrick Mahomes. We're going to go less than 265 yards passing. If you look at Mahomes over the majority of last year, actually, let's go ahead and do it. And we can remember this Justin Tucker one for later when we talk about Justin Tucker on the slip. But if we look at Patrick Mahomes, specifically from a passing yard standpoint, obviously it was kind of a slower uptick last year for this Kansas City offense. A lot of games where they were carried by the defense. It just wasn't like a standard Mahomes year for the most part. It did start to kind of go the other direction towards the latter part of the year. But these are looking at the unders, which the under for this game is at 265.5. And for the most part, he was hitting the under. If you look at the inside, it says fail to exceed 263.5 in 5 of his last 6 games at home. So this is a team that is going to run the ball. They do have more weapons offensively this year with Xavier Worthy, with Hollywood Brown, who's not playing in this game. They did add Samaje Perine behind Isaiah Pacheco, but I still think they're going to want to run the ball. They're going to limit the usage of Travis Kelce. So it's week one, and I fully suspect teams are going to come out in week one and, try to go through the motions, establish the game clock. and control the game. So I do like him to go under that 265.5. For Rashee Rice, Rice was obviously a big part of the offense, especially towards the latter half of last year. To me, he is the new number one option in this offense. Like I said, they're going to start limiting Travis Kelce. Um, Rice had the issues off the field this year, hasn't had that figured out yet legally, so he's on the field. I like him to go over that 61.5. Harrison Butker, obviously you got the green demon there for PrizePicks, which means that's a high hit rate. And then Derrick Henry, we're going to add at 64.5 rushing yards. We're going to take the over. You look at the projections on Henry, it's all compared to when he was on the Titans last year. I'm getting tired of the Derrick Henry's over the hill. He carried the Titans last year offensively. He had 1,100 yards rushing, and he was the only thing that defenses had to worry about. There was nothing on that Titans offense last year, and Derrick Henry still managed to go over 1,000 yards rushing. He is going to be in an offense that's loaded with talent. You're going to see him in multiple lineups here below, and I really like him to hit the over. I think he's going to have a monster season. The only reason Caleb Williams actually snuck into this bet is because I was trying to add him to a new lineup, and my original bet didn't go through. But essentially, this is the free pick of the week for PrizePicks. It's at half a passing yard to go over. I think he'll probably manage to do that, but you never know. But I obviously like that. So the 5, I need to recheck the lineup here, but it says 4 picks to play 50. So maybe the Caleb Williams didn't go through. But either way, that's the one I like for that lineup. The next lineup I like, Lamar Jackson. Again, I'm going under on these quarterbacks. If you look at the AFC Championship game last year, Lamar and the Ravens, they were the number one rushing team in the NFL. They came in, they ran the ball 12 times against Kansas City. Absolute, just undeniably awful game plan. It cost them the game. They lost 17-10. They were probably the best team in the AFC last year. They've added in Derrick Henry. They don't really have that many more offensive weapons in the passing game. Zay Flowers is going to be the clear-cut wide receiver 1. They've got Mark Andrews, who's going to be healthy for this game. I like Isaiah Likely behind Andrews, but there's just not a lot of targets beyond Zay Flowers and Andrews in the passing game. And even Henry, he was used more than you probably thought in Tennessee last year, but he's going to be a ground and pound. I expect Baltimore to come in and try and just run the ball down Kansas City's throat to basically show what they could have done last year. I'm not going to say make up for it because that was the AFC Championship. But I like him to go under that 218.5 passing. I do expect him to have a big day rushing. And then Zay Flowers, I am going to go over 53.5 receiving. If you look at Flowers, that could be one play. He may have one catch. It could go for 75 yards. He's a big play threat. He's an electric playmaker. And again, he's going to be probably the focal point for Lamar Jackson. And this Chiefs defense should take a step back from last year. They did lose a lot of key pieces, like L'Jarius Sneed most notably, and went to the Titans. So we'll see how that affects the passing game. But week 1, I expect Zay to get loose at least one time in this game. And then we're going to jump over to college to diversify this a bit. So Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter obviously ripped it up last week. I still don't think Nebraska's very good. They're still a work in progress. So we're going to go over 310 passing for Shedeur, and then over 85.5 receiving for Travis Hunter. And so these 4 picks pays the $50 for that lineup. And then the last lineup I have for you, we're going to get into the kicking game and just kind of a mix here. So Harrison Butker at over 1.5 field goals made. I think there's going to be some points scored in this, but it's probably going to be a fairly low scoring affair. So I do like the kickers to go over the 1.5 field goals made, both for Justin Tucker and Harrison Butker. Tucker's done so in 5 out of his last 6 games. So I like that there. And then Patrick Mahomes over 1.5 passing touchdowns. This should be one of the if this slip doesn't win, I'll be really disappointed because you've got 2 green demons here. I'm expecting some kicks to be made early on, and then Derrick Henry to hit over 64.5 rushing yards. Like I really like this play to hit. So those are the free picks for this week for the Thursday night game, Baltimore against Kansas City. Drop a note in the comments, check it out. And before you go, make sure to sign up for the free picks on Winnable. Go to winnable.com/FFPPR. Click the link below. And all the subscriptions right now are 75% off weekly, monthly, annually. And so obviously, like a lot of the things I talked about with Player Prop Shop and the outlier tool that I'm using, and I use a few other tools, like it's this is a really good deal here when you think about the number of subscriptions that I've got, to where I'm basically just kind of trying to give you what I think are the best plays from all of those tools. So check it out, and let me know how I'm doing in the comments, and let me know how you did on Friday after all the plays are in.